You wake up one morning and realize something feels different. Not dramatic, not loud, just quiet. A quiet understanding sitting in your chest. For years, maybe without even noticing it, you were waiting. Waiting for someone to notice your effort. Waiting for someone to appreciate your loyalty. Waiting for someone to finally say, you deserve better. Waiting for a mentor, a partner, a friend, a miracle. And the painful truth is, nobody came. Nobody showed up to rewrite your story. Nobody arrived to fix your confidence. Nobody stood at your door and handed you discipline, purpose, or direction. And that realization hurts, because deep down you always believed that if you were patient enough, kind enough, good enough, life would reward you automatically. But life doesn't work like that. The world is not cruel, it's just indifferent. It keeps moving whether you're ready or not. It keeps rewarding those who move, not those who wait. And one day it hits you. Maybe nobody is coming to save you. Not because you're not worth saving, but because you were never meant to be rescued. You were meant to rise. At first, this realization feels heavy, almost unfair. You think about all the times you gave your energy away, all the nights you overthought conversations, all the mornings you woke up hoping today would somehow be different without you changing anything. You scroll through your phone looking at people who seem ahead, happier, more successful, more confident. And you quietly ask yourself, what do they have that I don't? The answer is uncomfortable. They stopped waiting. They stopped expecting validation. They stopped explaining themselves to people who never planned to understand them. And somewhere along the way, you confused comfort with progress. You stayed in places that drained you because they were familiar. You tolerated disrespect because confrontation felt scary. You delayed your goals because failure felt worse than regret. But regret grows quietly. It grows every time you choose comfort over courage. And one night, lying in the dark, staring at the ceiling, you feel it. That silent frustration, that awareness that if nothing changes, 5 years will pass exactly like this. Same fears, same excuses, same conversations. That thought is more terrifying than failure. And that's the moment something shifts inside you. It doesn't shift loudly. There's no dramatic music, no sudden burst of motivation. Just a decision, a calm, steady decision. If nobody is coming to save me, then I will build myself into someone who doesn't need saving. And suddenly responsibility stops feeling like pressure. It starts feeling like power. You begin noticing your habits, the small lies you tell yourself. I'll start tomorrow. I'm just tired. It's not the right time. You realize tomorrow is a hiding place. You realize tired is sometimes just untrained discipline. You realize the right time never announces itself. And slowly you stop talking about the life you want, and you start designing it. You wake up earlier, not to impress anyone, but to prove something to yourself. You say no more often, not to be rude, but to protect your focus. You stop oversharing your plans, because you understand that silence builds stronger foundations than attention ever could. And people notice the change. Some feel inspired, some feel uncomfortable. Because when you take responsibility for your life, it forces others to look at theirs, and not everyone is ready for that mirror. But this time, you don't shrink. You don't apologize for growing, because now you understand something powerful. Nobody was ever coming, and that was never a tragedy. It was the opportunity. The more you step into responsibility, the quieter your mind becomes, not because life gets easier, but because excuses get weaker. You start seeing patterns you were blind to before. The way you used to blame timing, blame circumstances, blame other people's opinions. The way you waited for confidence before taking action, not realizing confidence is born from action itself. And now, instead of asking, what if I fail? You begin asking, what if I waste another year? That question changes everything, because failure is loud but temporary. Wasted time is silent and permanent. You begin to understand that growth is not glamorous, it's repetitive, it's boring. It's waking up when you don't feel like it. It's doing the work when no one is watching. It's choosing discipline when comfort is calling your name.
And slowly, almost invisibly, you become stronger. Not louder, not arrogant, just steady. There is a calmness that starts to follow you, a calmness that comes from knowing you are no longer waiting to be rescued. You notice your conversations change. You complain less, you listen more. You stop seeking approval in every room. Before, you would measure your worth by reactions, by how quickly someone replied, by how much attention you received, by how often your name was mentioned. Now you measure it by effort, by consistency, by promises kept to yourself. You realize self-respect isn't built in grand gestures, it's built in private decisions. Every time you choose the gym over the couch, every time you choose studying over scrolling, every time you choose silence over arguing. These moments seem small, but they stack, and stacking small wins creates an identity shift. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries, you start seeing yourself as someone who executes. And that identity is dangerous in the best way possible. Because once you believe you are capable, you stop negotiating with weakness. There will still be hard days, days where old habits whisper to you, days where comfort feels incredibly attractive, days where you wonder if all this effort is even worth it. But now you respond differently. Instead of collapsing into self-pity, you observe the feeling, you let it pass. You remind yourself that emotions are temporary visitors, not permanent truths. You understand that discipline is not about being perfect, it's about returning quickly, falling and standing up faster than before. And the more you practice this, the more unstoppable you become. Not because nothing affects you, but because nothing owns you. You don't chase validation anymore. You don't chase shortcuts. You don't chase rescue. You chase alignment. Alignment between what you say and what you do. Alignment between who you are and who you're becoming. And in that alignment, there is power. A quiet, unshakable power that no one can give you and no one can take away.
And one day, you look back at the person you used to be, the version of you who waited, who hesitated, who doubted every step, and you feel something unexpected. Not shame, not regret, gratitude. Because that version of you survived long enough to become this one. You understand now that the hardest battles were never outside, they were internal. The war between comfort and growth, between fear and action, between staying the same and stepping into the unknown. And every time you chose growth, even imperfectly, you were rewriting your identity. You were teaching yourself that strength is built, not gifted, that courage is practiced, not inherited, that self-respect is earned in silence long before it is seen in public. Your life may not look dramatically different overnight. There's no instant transformation montage, but something far more important has changed: your standard. You no longer tolerate the bare minimum from yourself. You no longer romanticize potential without effort. You understand that discipline is a form of self-love, that protecting your time is protecting your future, that saying no to distractions is saying yes to the person you want to become. And as weeks turn into months, the results begin to surface, not just in money or status, but in posture, in eye contact, in the way you speak, in the way you walk into a room without shrinking. People may ask what changed. They may think you found motivation, a secret routine, a lucky break. But the truth is simpler. You stopped waiting. You stopped hoping someone would fix your direction. You decided to carry your own weight. And here's the final truth. Nobody is coming to save you, and that is your greatest advantage. Because when you accept that, you stop outsourcing your power. You stop giving other people control over your confidence. You stop building dreams that depend on someone else's permission. You become dangerous in the most peaceful way, focused, self-led, unapologetic about growth. And the moment you fully accept responsibility for your life is the moment your life begins to respond differently. Doors don't magically open, but you start knocking. Opportunities don't chase you, but you prepare for them.
Fear doesn't disappear, but it no longer decides. So if something inside you felt uncomfortable while listening to this, that's not negativity, that's awareness. That's the part of you that knows you're capable of more. And the question now is simple. Will you keep waiting, or will you rise? If this message spoke to you, don't just move on. Make a decision. Comment below with one word, rise. Let it be a promise to yourself. And if you're ready to build discipline, confidence, and real self-respect from the inside out, subscribe and stay with this journey. Your future doesn't need saving, it needs leadership. And that leadership starts with you.